Hi there. In this video, we are going to take a look at some hacks for making different shaped knockdown stitch areas in Embrilliance Enthusiast. So creating a knockdown stitch area is one of the main reasons why people buy Enthusiast, because it will create a knockdown stitch area. But its default behavior is to make that knockdown stitch area be based on the design that you currently have on your screen. So let me just show you how that works. All right, so this is not all that exciting. 3 letters. I just picked the lettering tool, and let's make it a more distinct shape by changing the style of our monogram. Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger too. I have Enthusiast installed on this computer, so I'm going to say utility and add knockdown stitching. Again, this is only a feature that you will see if you have Embrilliance Enthusiast. You could have StitchArtist, you could have Essentials, but you're not going to get this knockdown stitch area feature unless you have Enthusiast. So we'll say add knockdown stitching. Now I have a couple of different settings here, and this just has to do with the style of the knockdown stitch area. The biggest thing is this inflation setting right here. And the inflation setting refers to how much of an offset you have of your knockdown stitch area from your elements in your design. So let's just accept the defaults right now, and we'll see what it generates. Okay, so now if I'm just going to say undo, Command Z, and let's just try that again, and I'll change the defaults a little bit so you can see the effect. There we go, utility, add knockdown stitching, and I'm going to inflate it 10 millimeters instead. And you'll see that it's a little bit larger than the last one I just did. Just to prove it to you, maybe we should go just a little bit larger to really see the difference. So we'll say utility, add knockdown stitching, and instead we'll say, let's just say 20 millimeters. And we'll say, okay. Now I have 2 different underlays. We have the bigger one and the smaller one, but that should give you an idea of, let's just take one away, and now I have the bigger one. So like I said, by default, we can just make a knockdown stitch area based on the shape of our design. But let's say I wanted just to put this in a circle, for example. Well, what I could do is I could merge in a circle design from my library, and this is available if you have Essentials, which I think most people do if they have Enthusiast. So we will say merge in a library design, and let's make it more interesting. Let's do a heart. We'll do this applique heart, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that's kind of outrageous, but it's very huge. And now I will say utility, add knockdown stitching, and I'm going to inflate it nothing at all, and then I will say okay. So now I can delete my heart, and I have this knockdown stitch area that is the shape of that object. We can do this same technique with other designs that we import. So it doesn't have to be something in the library. Let's try something else. I'm going to delete my underlay there. Let's merge in a stitch file, and I think I have one of the free files on my website. That's kind of a basic applique design. So let's go into the free designs. Let's say I have a duck. Okay, great. Let's open this duck, and we'll import it. It's kind of a weird example here, but the point is that we can take this and we can say, now I might want to, because this lettering is extending beyond the design area, that might cause a problem because it's going to create the knockdown stitch area, not just based on the duck, but also based on the monogram. So for the time being, let's make that monogram fit into that space. Okay, we can make it larger in a minute. And now we will say utility. Come on, utility. It's kind of hidden up here, which is why it's taking a second for me to pull down my menu items. Move my head over here. utility, add knockdown stitching, and I'll say okay. And now my knockdown stitch area, I've got some weird stitches up here that I would clean up actually in Enthusiast before I did this. But that's a different lesson. Now I have a knockdown stitch area based on an external design. So those are some of the cool things you can do with knockdown stitch areas. If you had StitchArtist actually level 1 and you built a knockdown stitch area from like in this manner, I could actually generate a stroke or some kind of a outline and then get rid of the knockdown stitch area and use that as an element in my design too. So there are a lot of cool things you can do with knockdown stitch areas if you're creative about using different source files to create that knockdown stitch area.